Owls. This is Big Al. Welcome to Big Al Presents a Films with Friends Friday night fantasy special event. The first one of its kind, and we're going to be watching the 1984, I believe it was, when the series started. The first two episodes of Robin of Sherwood, BBC's 1984 version of The Legend of Robin Hood. Lots of fantasy elements and everything. We're going to be watching the first two episodes, which encompass the story of Robin Hood and the Sorcerer, which is the origin story, how he became Robin Hood and meeting his merry men. Joining me for this auspicious occasion, as I called him in my intro, YouTuber extraordinaire, Aged Boomer. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. I don't know about extraordinaire. I do get around though, but thank you for
Well,
having me.
I with the other ones that I put, I always put down their YouTube page, but your name is your YouTube page.
That is true.
So, and you're on this show every now and then. You're on Soundtracks with Birdman. You're on with Troy.
Yes. Yeah.
Sometimes you're on with Netters Networks. Retro Cinema Presents with me as well. So, and you have your own show, Geeky Geezers,
Geeky Geezers on Sundays. Yes.
Sunday, yeah, with all the week in geek, all the big geek news that's coming out.
Yeah, kind of a weird week this week. Not a ton to talk about, but
yeah, kind of the a big passing yesterday that kind of is.
Yes, God rest her soul.
God rest the Queen.
Queen Elizabeth. Yes.
And God save the king.
I suppose so. I guess that's where we are.
They've got to change everything now, from ER to CR, and now they've got to change the anthem from God save the Queen to God save the King.
Kind of odd how we're watching Robin of Sherwood, which is a very anti-royalty show, at least for the time it's taking place in.
Yeah, well, the Robin Hood story has always been kind of,
but usually there's always King Richard as the one who will come, the rightful heir, the one who will save things, and then not really on this show, but we'll find that out down the
line. We'll watch episodes of this one every now and then. The Friday night fantasy, is it Fantasy Friday? However, whatever it's going to end up eventually, I think it's fantasy films on a Friday or something like that. But whatever, it's an offshoot of my Films with Friends. But we're gonna, I'm gonna try to go heavier on fantasy when we do a Friday night rewatch. It's not going to be every Friday. Just gonna be once in a while. But it'll when Boomer wants to, we'll watch some Robin of Sherwood episodes. They're on YouTube. I've got a link at the top.
They are. You watch for free, officially for free. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And on Pluto as well, Pluto TV. I think
Shout Factory TV is on there as well.
Yeah, and I think I got mine. I don't know if I found mine on Daily Motion or one of those places. I found them and downloaded them all, and the copy I have is the exact same one I've got a link to. The same length and everything, and it starts off just how mine starts off,
with the acorn symbol popping on, and then you go right into it, right?
Yeah, with the little blinky
the sound, blue thing, yeah,
and the blue thing, yep. Cue mine up here, so I'm ready. Whoop. Wow, it literally starts like generally you go right. It's got
this show don't waste your time. We're gonna get right into it. This is no BS. You want Robin Hood? We're gonna give you Robin Hood and a whole lot more. That's what this show is about. And
how'd you find the show?
How did I find the show? When I was at Shop,
come across it.
I think it was when it originally aired on Showtime. I could be wrong, but I think I would catch an episode. Yeah, because this was an Acorn production in England, and they you have to understand that we think of these shows like Game of Thrones or The Sopranos and stuff as newer things, but no, in the early days of cable, they had exclusive series, and this was the one exclusive on Showtime. That was a British co-production with Showtime, so it had both American money and British money in it. And
they had three seasons. They were going to do a fourth season, but one of the money
Yeah,
people went
it
out
might
of
have been
business.
Acorn that pulled out, not Showtime. I could be wrong. This
Yeah,
happens
I forget who it
sometimes
was,
too.
but,
Like there was a wonderful Cinemax series. I don't remember the name of it, but it had Melissa George in it. And it was a spy series. Only lasted one season, but that was also a Cinemax American company, but also a British co-production. It might have been Acorn again that was helping fund that. And
Goldcrest
I
is
don't know if it
what
was
it says
Go.
Goldcrest. At the beginning of at the conclusion of series 3, Goldcrest was forced to pull out.
I
And
see.
the downturn in fortunes, they kind of had to fold.
Well, that happens. They have other projects that fail, and then they can't afford the ones that were making money. That happened with Superman 4 with Canon, but that's a story for another day. But no. And then I really caught it later on though when they reran it on PBS. The repeats were on PBS. I used to, because there was Doctor Who, and then like later in the week, in fact, when Doctor Who went off the air when Sylvester McCoy was done, I had nothing to watch on PBS. But then they started airing Robin Hood. Now, Robin of Sherwood was called Robin Hood in North America, United States and Canada, and I'm assuming Canada. I don't know if they got Showtime or not, but it's same show though, just a different title sequence. But
yeah, they got
loved
different
it,
channels like Sky One and all the other channels out there that things show up on. Yeah, I remember coming across it on Showtime, and because I was a big medieval fan. I love medieval history. I love medieval legends.
Yeah.
Robin Hood, King Arthur, things like that. And this just kind of fell right into my wheelhouse. I loved it.
It comes in that same era where we got Excalibur and movies like Sword of the Valiant and things like that. This is in league with those. Yeah, Legend. Yeah, it's very much in keeping with that 80s sword and sorcery. But and in some ways, this might be the best of them. I could be wrong. I mean, it's just I love all the characters, villains, and heroes included on the show.
Right. I love the actors in it. I love the music. The music, I think, was really what drew me to it. Clannad. Which you can find there's a Clannad album called Legend.
I have it.
All of it, except there's one musical part.
There's always one.
I think it's used in the second season in the King Arthur Roundtable episode.
Oh, I see.
That's it's called Castellane or something like that. I can't speak Gaelic, but that's found on another album. But it's
okay, because they probably released Legend in time with the series, and in fact, I think it won an award for best original soundtrack for a series the year this was out. I think they did win an award for that, and I don't know if it was an Emmy or some kind of award. I think. Did you want to say hi to the chat real quick? I guess we're still waiting for people.
I certainly did. Go Team Ghost Planet Forevermore was the first. And here, thank you for being here, and that's it so far.
Well, it's a new show, new time. We don't know who's going to be popping up.
It's early. Anyone who is here wondering why we started early, I'm giving Boomer a little breathing space between his next gig to see his YouTuber extraordinaire. I would, I'm good for 7. I would have been good for 8, but I figured give him that extra, hour. 45 minutes to kind of.
If we have shorter movies, it's not going to matter because a lot of movies tend to be 90 minutes anyway. But this might go. This get closer to 2 hours.
Yeah, this is 252-ish minute episodes. So, and with that being said, I think we should lean right into.
I think so.
Like I said, it is right at the top. I'm not going to link the second episode because, quite frankly, if you have YouTube, the second episode is going to be right in the corner there. It links it, or just continue, and it goes to.
It just goes straight to it.
Yeah, but we'll have a
slight break just so we can set up, and then we'll get.
I have to because I'm actually watching an MP4 of it, so
I got you. Yeah, I'll explain how I'm watching it in a minute as soon as we start. Okay.
So everybody getting ready. Starting at the zeros. This is a big blue screen. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh. All right, let me see if I can lower this a little bit.
HTV.
Now, it's kind of weird because normally I would just put the DVD on, but there are no closed captions on the old DVD set I got. That is a boo from me.
Yeah, I think they're releasing or have released a Blu-ray of it.
They have. I want to tell you, I got the DVD set of this, and I almost wish I'd waited on the Blu-ray. but I don't even think I was buying Blu-rays at that point when I bought the DVD set. And the Blu-ray set is hard to find. I'm thinking though, Shout Factory TV is showing this on YouTube through the website. Surely a Blu-ray set from Shout Factory is not far off. So
yeah, I have
the DVDs.
I have the regular DVD copies, and then I downloaded this offline. The Village of Locksley, 1180.
Yes. And
which is weird. The last episode of the 3rd season, the last episode they mentioned it's 1211 or 1214 or something like that. So
really?
It's like 30, there's like all that time in between.
Well,
but this is starting with a younger Robin, so he is a younger lad in this one.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a child right now. He's like 4 years old or something.
Yeah, that's Robin right there, the kid.
That's Robin of Locksley. That's his father, Elric of Locksley, right?
Aelric.
Aelric. Yeah, that's a fantasy name.
Yeah,
that's been used in it.
Actually, it does have. There is historical. There have been.
I know they've existed. Yeah. Elrics have existed. In fact, it's funny. There's a Carmelite priest at a church I once went to who said that when he got to choose 3 names, and one of them was Elric, and he said, "I ain't picking Elric." That's what he said. He wasn't going to pick Elric to be some kind of name you pick if you're becoming. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, Elric is the weird albino guy from the Michael Moorcock stories.
There you go. So here we have Locksley getting torched. I'm kind of getting some Conan the Barbarian flashbacks. This is rather brutal. This is.
Yeah.
I'm assuming these are Norman soldiers, right? Or Norman, well, English Norman, I should say. Yeah, the sheriff's people. Because obviously the French were ruling England, but they've been there so long, they're speaking English, right? I'm assuming. I don't know.
Yeah, by this time, the Normans had pretty much become anglicized.
Yeah.
I mean, this is 114 years after Hastings, so. But there was this upper crust posh, nobility thing that, they kept the Saxons down.
Yeah.
But I think they're doing this because Aelric has something the sheriff wants.
Yeah.
But you'll find out what it is in a moment.
I'll try to mute myself when snacking. I have some.
Oh, go ahead and snack away.
Fritos Twists barbecue flavor.
Ooh.
Which existed in the 12th century, I'm sure.
Yeah, I have some chicken in a biscuit crackers.
I don't even want to think about what they ate then. I mean, nobody had any food. It's like, that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, fish.
Pork was big. Pork was big. Because you could raise them locally.
Lots of root vegetables.
And there you go. Carrots are good, yeah. But
yeah.
I don't know.
A good parsnip will take you a long way. Because parsnip and turnips, they're good because they soak in the flavor. So if you got a little bit of meat, it'll soak up the flavor.
Soak up the flavor. I got you.
Be a lot of meat flavor.
Yeah, the French would do that
with a roast.
Here we have a monument that reminds me of Stonehenge. I don't know if it actually is Stonehenge or if it's just.
I think that is probably
some old pagan structure. Looks like.
Yeah, I don't know if it's real or if it's a studio construction.
Oh, did I mute myself too low? Hold on.
Oh, the great Nicholas Grace.
Where's the arrow? Yeah, the sheriff is. This is the sheriff right here as a younger man. You'll. Ooh. This has to be one of the worst ways to go. Getting riddled with arrows. Remember end of Lord of the Rings, Boromir getting riddled with arrows. Yeah. You have that one Catholic saint, is it Saint Sebastian? I don't know who got riddled with arrows. It's
Sebastian, yeah.
Yeah. It's a bad way to go. It's just that's. I mean, I guess burning at the stake is pretty bad, but I don't know.
I like how they do the flash of the arrow in tune with the thunder crash of the lightning.
Yep.
Robin of Sherwood, the hooded man.
Well, he says the hooded man is coming.
Yep.
little prophesy for the sheriff there.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Saxon version of a Messiah.
Kind of, yeah, yeah, like a
it is
deliverer type of,
very,
yeah.
yeah. It's Hearn's son. Hearn is a forest god that, like Celtic,
Yeah.
Old English god,
Yeah.
which is based on a real legend. Hearn
Real
the
legend,
Unlearned.
yeah, yeah.
And you'll meet one of Hearn's priests who kind of embodies Hearn.
Oh, I see. I
Castle
could think.
Belem.
Yeah, and there's some bad stuff going on at Castle Belem. In case you're confused, this gentleman and the weird voice coming out of him, that's a demon.
But the gentleman is not a demon. He's
No.
actually someone we all know.
We'll find out who he is. It plays around the Robin Hood legend, but in a good way.
The
Here we have the evil Baron, who's just not. He's dabbling in the dark arts.
Now I've got to say, Michael Praed, a beautiful man. Truly.
Yeah, no, I mean apparently the ladies liked him a lot, which is why he was getting stalked a lot.
Yeah, and for basically a peasant guy, beautiful head of hair.
Yeah,
that 80s, hair.
I like the fact they go with the Robin of Locksley legend where he starts out as a commoner. I mean, they're two legends, right. And we may get to the other one eventually. But this is there are more than those two. Okay, I guess nobody can keep.
Yeah, the Robin Hood legend has been linked to several possible things, but this one does do the two primary ones. Oh, much. You're not supposed to be doing that.
You can't shoot a deer. Why? Because the deer belong to the king.
Yep.
And unless you have a special license, it's like how we have fishing and wildlife licenses now.
Is that a pork? Oh, it has a deer. Okay. For a second, I was like, wait a minute. I thought it was a deer. It looked like a pig when he put it on.
I think if you killed a boar, you might be doing the king a favor, but I don't know. Maybe, those are dangerous.
Well, we all know it's Trafe. If you remember Robin of Men in Tights.
Oh, right.
But yeah, huge issue to be killing the king's deer.
No, it's theft. It's like they'll lop off your hand.
It is a bad thing. Maybe do more than that. Ah, there he is.
Guy of Gisborne.
Your man in the Avatar.
Yeah.
If anybody recognizes Guy of Gisborne, you recognize who he played in another film, right?
Just this. Who?
Think Excalibur.
Oh, he played Arthur's brother. Is that who he played? Or Mordred? Oh, he played Mordred. No, Arthur's son, right. Yeah, actually, I liked it Excalibur, Kane Excalibur, because I know in the Disney movie, they made him out to be kind of a bully. But in Excalibur, he's not so bad. Like, he says, Kay, did you pull the sword from the stone? He says, yes. I mean, no, Arthur did. Remember that? He's like,
I know, there was that slight little moment of he wanted to be a butthead.
He corrected himself, though, a second later, so all's forgiven. I mean, he's not a bad guy. I'm sure he became a knight of the court. But
this is the medieval version of Cops. Bad boys.
Yeah, you don't. Well, this is. You steal a deer, you're in deep doo doo.
Yeah, and they were serious about this stuff back then.
Oh yeah.
When I did medieval recreation, I played a forester, which was a guy who would have been hunting down guys like this.
Yeah.
Although my forester guy was more of a village conscript. I didn't have fancy armor. I just had the right to go through and do things.
It's this show on Cadfile. You ever watch Cadfile?
Oh, I love Cadfile.
The medieval monk who solves crimes. Yeah, that's another good medieval show from Britain. Oh, here we go. I'm not a serf. So you're a serf. You're a serf. Smacks him. Already we don't like Gisborne just from that, right?
Yeah.
Well,
we were joking before. I say I don't even think Gisborne likes Gisborne. I think he's got a lot of self-hate there.
Maybe. Well, you learn later on Gisborne's origin, and well, we won't get into that here. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that was another version. Well, yeah. Season 3.
No. Like in season 3, they explain something about his origin. They explain probably why he became so nasty.
Yeah, and they were going to further explore that in season 4.
Yeah, it's complicated, but
yeah.
The King's Beast. Yes, my lord. Oh, man. Here we go. You like that? You lose your tongue as well as your hand.
Yeah, Gisborne was a big Richard, short for Richard, as it were. It's my show. He was a dick. If he were a character on The Office, he'd be Dwight.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Oh man, I was watching some Office clips. The second secretary they got later on, what's her name?
Erin.
Erin. Oh, I love Erin.
I love her. I adore her.
I've known coworkers like her. I'll keep quiet though.
Oh, Ray Winstone.
Yeah, I was. We did a Culture Fortress Mr. Matchstick. I decided since I knew we were going to be doing this at some point, I'll do Robin Hood, and I had Troy do Sherlock Holmes, the old Sherlock Holmes series that was on PBS. Figure, let's do the definitive Robin Hood and definitive Sherlock Holmes. And I do think this is the definitive Robin Hood. There are other versions I like. The Errol Flynn movie is good. Men in Tights, actually, for a comedy, it's not such a bad Robin Hood movie.
Well, I think as far as being to the legend,
yeah,
the Errol Flynn movie is pretty spot on. But as far as just bringing its own thing, this to me is the best Robin Hood franchise. And there've been a lot.
There have been. Yeah. They did another one on BBC years back, which I didn't care as much for. I thought it started strong, but then you guys got to stop doing this with a love triangle between Guy of Gisborne and Robin Hood and Maid Marian. You got to stop making the turn. I hate it when they start out having Guy of Gisborne as a pure villain, and then they sort of make him into an anti-hero later on. I'm getting so sick of this in modern shows. Stop it. You make him a bad guy or you make him an anti-hero from the get-go, but do one or the other. Don't do a switcheroo and say, oh, he's not so bad. Yes, he is. Here's the dungeon, though.
Yeah.
You don't want to get thrown in the dungeon, right? This is like the last place you want to end up.
Of course, and we've met Will Scarlet, Ray Winstone, and these other two guys, Dickon and Tom the Fletcher. Yeah. You know what a Fletcher is? Everybody out there now, you know what a Fletcher is, right?
I don't know. I do not know.
A Fletcher is the guy who puts the little feathers on arrows.
You know what? That's probably not the easiest job.
Probably not. And it took a special hand. It was a special skill.
Yeah. Oh, feet first. I love the guy who's been in the dungeon for like
forever.
For 20 years. And later episodes, if they end up in the dungeon again, he's still down there. Yep. It's
he's always there. He's always floating around.
Here we go.
So and there's a lot of great authenticity about the look of this show.
Well, I imagine they shot.
See how smoky it is in there? Oh, that's real.
Oh yeah.
It was. Castles were smoky places.
Probably didn't have proper chimneys back then. Oh,
Lord. Yeah. It was. If you had no wind on the day, man, it's going to get stifling in there.
I love the sheriff and his brother, the abbot. This is just.
Yeah.
These are just two villains. Of course, the abbot later on the show, I realize he's not as bad as I thought he was. He's still not a good guy, but he's not as. Oh no.
Nicholas Grace, though, this is to me, and I loved Alan Rickman's version of the sheriff.
Yeah.
But to me, Nicholas Grace is the perfect sheriff of Nottingham.
I've heard him described as like a modern man stuck in this fantasy world. Like he hates his job.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe in all this paranormal nonsense, supernatural stuff. He thinks it's all bunk. And he's even prepared, if Robin Hood wasn't stealing the tax money, he'd probably just leave it alone. He would have left it alone. But no, you had to keep stealing the tax money. That happens later on. He's like,
yeah,
they want to prance around in the woods and worship her, and I don't care. But then they started stealing the tax money again. He's like, I'm not having it. No.
Yeah, I mean, he'll do the minimum his job requires.
Yes, which is why you'll get like some guy from Prince John gets sent down from Prince John. You're not doing your job right, and you get like some guy named the Carnage, who's another nasty character, and like you'd have other like temp sheriffs taking over because the sheriff's not getting the job done, and they were usually disposable villains, so you get rid of them by the end of the episode. But
yeah, they're always trying to bring in somebody to do the sheriff's actual job, and then like the sheriff, there's like this like Pyrrhic victory he gets,
of course,
or the other guy dies.
Here's Maid Marian.
Judy Trott was so beautiful.
Yes, love that hair.
Yes,
nice red hair,
beautiful eyes.
Yeah,
she was a gorgeous woman. And of course, we also got a little peek at Tuck.
Friar Tuck, yeah, we got Friar Tuck. We got the whole gang here, except Alan the Dale only shows up in one episode because we have a new character, Nazir, who we'll see introduced in this two-parter, and that kind of starts the tradition of having a Saracen in with Robin's group. That kind of started with the show, but you notice in future iterations of Robin Hood,
this is the first one that did it.
You'll have a gentleman from the Middle East, usually with the group now, and that's it. I think it works. It's the time of the Crusades.
Yeah, because Robin Hood was a crusader in many legends. He had come back to find out things were going badly and decided to change things.
Huh?
But you were talking about Alan the Dale. You know why? They originally had plans for Alan the Dale to recur and come back to be one of the Merry Men. You know why that didn't happen?
Why?
Because he was a bad actor when they did the show, so they never decided to bring him back.
Yes, he was not a good actor.
He's not a good
We'll
actor.
Get there. Like, I actually thought that was part of the act, because he was supposed to be bad at singing and stuff, and that's like he's a bad yeah.
Love Marion's theme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just beautiful.
I love her dress too.
So yeah, I love a redhead in green.
She is very smart for a woman living in this period, because she has, I guess her dad had lands, and she's obviously she's the inheritor, but what's she gonna do? So she decides, I guess, to protect herself in some ways, I'm gonna go become a nun. And if you do that, then the lands go to the church, and the church will protect you, right? Even the corrupt abbot here, he's like, nah,
yeah,
he's gonna become a nun, and then the church wants the land, and it's a vocation, so he's fine with it, and she'll be under the church, so she won't get married off to this guy, who wants to do some bad things to her.
Yeah, he is a creepy dude, man.
Yeah,
I think it's Anthony Valentine was the actor. Yeah. No longer with us. A lot. You know what? I was surprised how many of the actors from the show are still with us.
Now, to be fair, she hadn't become a nun yet at this point. Usually you go through a period where you study and decide if it is for you. They don't have you become one right away. Yeah.
Get thee to a nunnery.
Yeah. But, there's a trial period, and then you marry her to God. He's smiling about that. He's so evil.
Yeah. The Hooded Man. I love that element that they give it, that mystical feel when the Hooded Man comes to the forest.
And we know who the Hooded Man has to be, right?
Yes. Hence,
has to be Robin Hood. I would think Robin Hood,
which is short, which is kind of the shortened for Robin into Hood.
You like that crow cackling in the background when music too? It's very creepy. I may be a second or two behind you. Oh,
lose 400 acres.
I'll have him excommunicated for that. And it's like, I
like that little hawk. They have a very contentious sibling relationship.
So what I have going on here, I have the version on YouTube I'm watching so I can hear the sound, but then I have the DVD playing on my TV so I can keep track of where we are. The Shout Factory version interrupts a little bit, saying, "Watch the whole series on Shout Factory TV." Yes, I know.
Oh yeah.
And to be fair, I'm not going to yell at them. They are providing it for free. I mean,
so I like how they got that guy.
Now, did Will Scarlet already give his origin already about how he ended up there? How his wife got trampled to death by a bunch of the soldiers' horses, and he wants revenge. His wife was from Loxley as well. He made a point. My wife's parents were from Loxley. I wish she'd been there with it when it burned. Would have been better than her fate. What happened to her when she was. So he has a lot of anger issues over that.
Oh yes, he does. He does not get rid of those anger issues either.
If this was like, to use an analogy, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, he's the Raphael of the group. Okay, he's the angry one. Okay,
Yeah, his name was Will Scarlet, and
now it's Will Scarlet.
Scarlet because of the red of the blood.
Yeah. Feet first. Yeah, and the old man won't leave. Look, they're putting the soldier down there. Yes.
Feet first.
I can't leave, not without Arthur. Remember, you can't leave Arthur the rat, his pet rat.
His pet rat.
He's gone loony. He's gone Looney Tunes. See? It's his pet rat. It's kind of cute, actually.
Yeah, I mean, rats are good pets. My ex-girlfriend had a rat for a while.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She actually took it to the county fair, entered it into a pet contest, and won because she was the only one that brought a rat.
Hey, good for her.
Or it was an honorable man. They gave her an award because she was the only one that bought a rat.
I love this, a medieval jailbreak. Boom, boom, boom.
I read a little bit about some of the trivia behind it. The sword fights, they didn't show them poking. You couldn't have anybody die by a thrust. It all had to be by slash. And arrows could only go in the back or the chest.
No blood.
No face. And the thigh was negotiated.
I'm all right with that because this was being sold as a family show, but I like the fact you still have characters that can get killed. And I don't think you necessarily always need all the time, all the blood and guts. I mean, I'm fine with it. I mean, obviously, I've watched all the seasons of Game of Thrones, but it's okay to have something a little more understated too. Yeah, it works for the show.
You're talking about, people die. I mean, this is a rough time. You had to have people die. People died. It happened. Not everybody's going to get hit by an arrow in the shoulder and survive. In fact, most of them will die, even if they do get hit in the shoulder because of infection.
I'll say this about the later BBC Robin Hood. I did like the actor who played the sheriff on that as well. He was pretty good. He was a different kind of sheriff, though. He was more just a classic, just nasty villain. But there was one episode where this one guy, he was working with this one guy, says, "Hey, you promised me a cut." And he said, yes, I did. And then he stabs him. There's your cut. Yeah. But
yeah, there was this one. And then I think in the 90s, there was a version that was like independent, kind of a syndicated version that on that one, in the first couple of seasons, Robin Hood was played by the guy who played Will Scarlet in Men in Tights.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that.
And then they had one the last season that was a different actor, and then the BBC did the version which I think you're talking about.
Yeah,
which I think ran for 3 seasons, and I saw a lot of that.
It was all right. Like I said,
what got me though is that their Friar Tuck was a skinny black man.
At that point, I was just happy that Friar Tuck was on the show because I thought we were never going to see him. And I'm like, it's like, oh no, in this day we can have a Catholic priest as part of the group. At least he eventually shows up. So it's like, you know what? If it's a skinny black guy, I'll take it over nothing. That's what I was. And the actor who played him was good. He was on, I think he was on some Doctor Who episodes. But yeah, it's just, it was mixed. Here's what my issue with the BBC Robin Hood that came out. They interviewed the actor that played Guy Gisborne and that, and he says, well, Robin Hood's a fairy story. It's not real. And then it's like, I think you have to believe in the myth when you're making a story like this. I'm sure the guys that wrote this, even though there is a lot of additions, I think on some level you have to believe in this world. You have to believe in the legend. And maybe it's not exactly as it's being told here, but you do believe that Robin Hood existed once, this outlaw that was, breaking the law to protect the poor and the oppressed. That was what he was all about. And I like the fact, and I want to believe in Robin Hood. I think I do. It's.
Yeah, I mean, and the chances are there were probably several Robin Hoods.
Yeah.
The name comes from somewhere, and it's usually a bastard. It could either be a Robin or Robert. Hood was a name given to a lot of cut purses and outlaws back then because they would hide themselves. The hood was a good camouflage in the woods.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
The meeting.
I like this. They meet, and it is love at first sight, and I appreciate that. And of course, here we have, look at this, the brigand, the robber, and he says, "I won't hurt you," and she believes him. And I like this. This is one of the great romances that made Marian and Robin Hood, and we need to see this.
Yeah. that little light romantic lilting theme.
I like it. It's on the soundtrack, and it's nice, beautiful. And it's.
I think it's called Marian's theme.
Yeah, I think it's appropriate for a theme. You're not afraid of me, okay?
There's some sparks going on there, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect head of hair. For all he's been through, he's still got a perfect head of hair. That was his greatest weapon. He knew the forest. And nobody else did because nobody else would dare go in it.
There's the hood.
Or when the hooded man comes to the forest. She just put it together. Man. I like how she said it. The hooded man. Ooh. I always loved the medieval hood. I used to wear. I had one myself. I had like a maroon, kind of a maroon burgundy one. We're about to find out. This is where it gets really mystical and cool.
Yeah. Very green in Sherwood.
Yeah, and where I love the fact where they filmed this was like near Bristol, I think.
Unfortunately, yes. Yeah, go ahead.
The forest there did not have fir trees.
A lot of I think a lot of Sherwood forest is gone now. Actually, I think it's. I don't know if they chopped it down for firewood or if it's been.
And a lot of people floating around too. Herd the hunter. To this day, I want a big deer head for a hat.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool.
It would be so cool. It's also my heraldic device is a stag.
Oh, I should find out what mine is.
Well, I created mine from my maternal side of the family were Higgs, which were 3 bucks couchant, which means they're like laying down like on their front with their heads up.
Oh.
And red on a white field with a red chevron between the 3 of them. And I kind of created my own using that palette, the red and white, and then I used just the deer head erased. I learned a lot about heraldry there for a while.
Cool.
I still remember a lot of it. I forget some of it though. Some of the the terms of colors and different charges and things like that.
Now I find it interesting. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
That little pointy head thing he has doesn't look sinister at all, does it?
It's like reading bones. I think that's some kind of upside down star pentagram, maybe. I mean, there's some bad, some not kosher stuff going on here. That's all I'm gonna say. It's
well, the sheriff mentioned that there's devil worship going on in there.
I know.
The show definitely does have its devilry. And it's
usually magic or the bad black magic that's coming from the devil on the show. And that's weird. It's like the one place where the pagan and Christian world intersect. They both recognize Lucifer and all that is something that's real. Yeah.
Here's an old trope: Robin Hood and Little John.
Yeah, with the bow staffs.
Yep. In case they haven't named, they didn't name him yet, but I'm telling you who he is, and it's going to be Little John.
I wonder if you even know it's Little John at first, and then you see him with the bow staff, and you're like, that's Little John.
That's Little John. But I like the fact that he's a possessed guy, but they've always had the classic quarterstaff fight. Clive Mantle playing Little John there.
It's huge.
He's a big guy. One of my favorite weird, I won't say a blooper, but continuity thing. I think they must have reshot something at one point because there's an episode where he's not clean shaven, but his beard is short, and at the end they're filming a scene where he's got a full beard and he's like holding it like to not show it. And I think they had to film at a different time.
It's when you're shooting on a television schedule. It's a lot. You're a lot busier than with a movie, so you're gonna have more continuity mistakes. So there's a ton of stuff on Star Trek TNG if you want to hunt for it. It's all there.
Yeah. Oh, it's out there. But it's always one that I noticed, and just for some reason made me giggle. He goes from like very short beard to like the big bushy beard.
Ooh.
That's a buck and a quarter staff. That's an old Looney Tune joke. If anybody caught it.
You got to go for the. Is that a horn?
Yeah, it's like a golden cup.
What's doing it? That's what's doing it. It's black magic.
It is. It's a horn cup.
It's like it's a horn, yeah.
But it's got the silver parts to it.
Well, he's bleeding.
Got the devil right out of him.
Basically, yeah. I mean, it was more like he was being used as a conduit.
Yeah.
But rather than maybe a strict possession. But yeah, it's just.
His nose hurts.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt that bad because he's gonna say,
He just.
"I smell like a pig." I like that. So he's cleaning himself off. Hey, why not? It's right there. Clean yourself off in the river.
John Little.
He likes Little John. I like. I like this. They're having fun. This is why they call them the Merry Men. You know.
Could be where I get my love of alliteration. Things like the Merry Men.
And you think about this time of history. This is a rough time to be living. I mean, maybe not quite as bad as a few hundred years earlier, but still not good, especially if you're a peasant. And they make the best of it. They're not down on life, and I like that about them.
Yeah, but this was like dead set where I used to do my where the group I belonged to, we would do mainly between like 900s into 1400s. Some would go a little higher, 15. But I like this zone, the Normans, Saxons, and Vikings era.
Yeah. Now it's interesting. You're mentioning the Crusades on this show, and I don't think either Robin on the show was in the Crusades, but I think they had plans to bring them into the Crusades in a later season. Because they said that if they had done a season 4, they would have gotten them out of Sherwood, so they're probably going to bring them over to the Middle East for a period.
Could have, yeah.
So that would have been interesting, but
they have done a new quote unquote story called Robin of Sherwood, Knights of the Apocalypse.
What?
It's an audio drama.
It's an audio drama.
It's an audio drama. It is on Audible.
Did they reunite the cast or is it just?
Yes, they did, my friend.
Oh, I may have to re-up for Audible to get that. Well, I know they can't get everybody, but even if they get some of them, that's still pretty cool.
Jason Connery, Judy Trout,
the Knights of the Apocalypse. Sounds like are they bad like the Hounds of Lucifer? It sounds like
I haven't partaken in it yet.
We'll get to them later on, obviously, but yeah. Here we go, though. This is sort of like his Obi-Wan, right? This is the master, and because he originally runs away from the hero's call. Do you see that earlier on? He just, I want nothing to do with this, but he comes back.
Yeah, well, the other one does, especially.
I think sometimes when you're called to do the right thing, your initial reaction is not to, but then you come around to it. I think that's what happened to people. Yeah. But then it nags at you, and then you come back to it, right? It's like
this was the first sword that they did, which he hated because you see all those little dibbly doops on the crossguard.
Yeah,
chewed his hand up when they were fighting.
Well, then it can't be a very good design.
That's why they redid it. You get the other one, which you find out its name is Albion. But it's basically 2.0. But those little fiddly bits on the thing just made it hard to deal with.
Well, if it made it hard for him, it would have been hard for a guy living in the Middle Ages, too.
I love this. String the bow.
Yep. Here are the hero's weapons, right?
Yep.
That's one of the 7 swords of Wayland, is that sword, right?
Yep. Although, maybe not that one, but the other one that will come.
Well, whatever. Yeah, I wasn't paying that much attention.
A beautiful sword. I love
I'm sure there are people say, excuse me, there was a jeweled hilt in the first episode that disappeared, and some convention, and you're the producer.
And I know that, but I do not care.
Yes.
I know why they did it, and I like the second one better.
Yeah, I mean, they could make the other sword into the Excalibur they had in a later episode, right? Chosen by her and the Hunter.
You almost want him to say the sleeper has awakened.
I like this because but he's talking about them. He's saying we are, is this what we want England to be? It's like,
yeah, the true men of England have been subjects for too long.
Yeah. Do as you're told. Keep your head down. It's like, no, we're not going to do this anymore. And and I hate this. As an American, especially growing up in the '80s, I really responded well to this because it's like, we don't like our colonists revolted against an oppressive king, and here these people are trying to do the same. And it's just I get it.
It's like Hearn put a fire under his butt.
I think it's time. And you saw in the beginning he had a little bit of pride because he was saying, "I'm a free man. Don't call me a serf." And then, but it's finally been directed. You got the you got the knights on the horseback though, and it's like what chance do you stand?
Because there's a great line, and it's giving a little something away, but it's a line from the second Hearn son, Robert, when he is asked to string the bow, and he goes, "Why?" And Hearn goes, "To give it purpose."
Perfect.
That's what he's done here. He's given him purpose.
He's
strung the bow, and meaning that Robin is the bow. The bow has been strung.
Mm-hmm. No, I love Hearn. Hearn says so many mystical things. He's like saying, "Are you a god?" And he says, "All men can become gods." And he's saying stuff like that. All this wonderful mystical stuff, and I can't say that I understand everything that Hearn is saying, except I do love in a later episode when Robin has a crisis of faith in the cause, and he says, "To what purpose am I doing this? To what end?" And then Hearn says, "Why do I aim my bow? To what purpose? To what end?" And then Hearn says, "There is no end and no beginning. It is enough to aim."
Yeah.
And I love that because I take it that's like, you do the right thing regardless of what the outcome's going to be.
The lady we hear the vocals here, Maura Brennan.
Yep.
Is Enya's sister.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. She sings wonderfully. Yeah. Tell it's just her sister. Yeah. Friar Tuck looks a little sad, because I guess he was her caretaker. Yeah.
Between him and the one from the original one with I can't think of it. Errol Flynn.
Yeah.
I love me a fat Tuck. I'm sorry, I like a chubby Tuck.
This one isn't as bad. He's a fat Tuck, but at least he's not drinking all the time.
He's agile, and he's still with us.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. Because there have been other versions of Robin where he shows up and he's getting loaded too. It's like
Tuck loved his drink.
And I'm sure he drinks in this too, but it's not as successful as I've seen in other versions. Oh no, here we go. The miller's son. I mean, the miller.
They'll just burn anything just to burn it.
And you see the little touch of bigotry there, calling him a Saxon. I don't like liars, especially Saxon liars.
Well, they told him he was the miller's son. They know who he is.
Yeah. Burn it. That's like his livelihood, right?
Yep. That's what you do. And the thing is, this also helps feed everybody.
If you watch this show, you know that the higher-ups do not care about the peasants.
No, they don't. But that's where people brought their grain to get it milled. I like that red effect.
Oh, this is awful. He gets cut down, and it's just, and the mill stops too.
Yeah, it's because they give the impression his body is under it, stopping it.
Well, I just got the impression as well that's a thing is death, and it's like, and I guess his wife is screaming and stuff, and it's like this is awful, and this is Gisborne is awful.
Yeah, and he just
like the sheriff's
father killed.
Like the sheriff is bad, but I still find him funny. Gisborne is just
Gisborne's mean for mean's sake, whereas the sheriff is just nasty.
Yeah, well, the sheriff,
he's nasty, but he's like above it all. He doesn't like getting his hands dirty. Gisborne does not mind getting his hands dirty. He'll cut you down. He'll burn you, stab you. Whereas the sheriff just wants to be left alone.
Well, I liked how Much said, what was it? Much said he was your father too, and that's true. I guess he did raise little Robin after his father got assassinated.
Go Team Ghost Planet talking about Daffy Duck as Robin Hood.
I remember that.
And away, poof! Ike's and away.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Looney Tunes. I love Looney Tunes.
Yeah, me too. The Advantage of the Forest.
Look at that early camouflage. Right?
Yep. It's Bewitched.
Of course. There's stupider people than Gisborne. That's the thing. Like,
yeah, Gisborne's not stupid.
He's not bright either. Okay,
but he's not the brightest in the world.
No, he's not stupid though. But yeah, the sheriff treats him like a moron. He's just. Though you kind of need, if you're the sheriff, though, you need a guy like Gisborne because Gisborne will get the job done, and it saves you from getting your hands dirty sometimes.
Yeah. I've always loved the sound effects they use for the bows and when it's hitting, thwomp, thwomp, like hitting a couch.
This two-parter was shown as a feature film in Europe. Did you know that?
I did hear something. I knew it was like pieced together. I was kind of hoping to find it that way, but this was the easiest way to find it.
I have the two-parters. Well, they should do that if they bring it out on Blu-ray again. They should give us the movie version too. I'm curious.
Yeah, be a nice little extra to have that. Just like with
Buck Rogers.
Yeah.
If you get the Blu-ray set of that, you can buy the movie by yourself and get the Blu-ray set.
I'm gonna pull the trigger on that next year and watch Buck Rogers.
Watch the whole thing. I want to rewatch
the movie.
Oh yeah, well, I still gotta watch the original Twin Peaks movie. I want to watch Twin Peaks from front to back at some point, but because I've seen it, but not all in a row at once. I think I'm gonna rewatch it all. But Maid Marian.
She's got the spirit of an outlaw.
Well, she knows what's right.
Yeah. Whoop.
That's the thing. Sometimes when you're an outlaw, you're not always the villain. Sometimes it's the authorities that are the bad guys.
Yeah, it depends on who the law is that you're outside of.
I mean, I'll be blunt. Like the DC animated movie, Superman, Batman, Public Enemies, how they're on the outs of the law, but that's because Lex Luthor's president. But that doesn't mean they're the villain. Just because they're. Look at all the nasty, you English dogs.
Yeah, but you're the only one left, my friend.
Has there been a movie about the Battle of Hastings? I'd like to check that out.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I fought in a few Hastings, and I died in every one of them. I died in every one of them. I was always a Saxon.
Tell the sheriff that Robin Hood holds Sherwood.
I have fought in many a medieval battle and didn't always die.
Well, that's good.
And that is the
end of the first. It kind of ends in an odd spot, and I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, I guess
it's
setting it up.
It tells you who he is.
They said it's part one.
To the sorcerer, who is about to show up in the next one.
At this point, he is Robin Hood. Robin Hood is now on the scene. There's no origin left now. Robin Hood is here.
Right.
Will Scarlet says you should have killed him. This becomes a problem on the show because the writers even admitted this. It doesn't make a lot of sense for them to not kill Gisborne.
Right.
Eventually, they say. I mean, Robin makes a point. This Robin Hood makes a point that, well, the people hate him. The peasants hate him so much that it makes them sympathetic to our cause. So he's good as a symbol of how awful the authorities are.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of you can't kill Guy of Gisborne, at least not till the end of the story. You know, it's and it's a series. You got to keep him around.
Music by Clannad.
I love this theme song. I used to watch this. I used to love it just listening to the music.
See, this show this soundtrack was one of my go-tos on road trips.
It's a good one. I would
listen to this. I would listen to Queen's Greatest Hits. Let me cue the other one up. Okay.
Oh wait, give me 1 sec.
Yeah, getting part 2 queued up. Those who may be watching along on YouTube, the link should be right there next to it.
Okay.
Watching the second one. Although I do think it's only GoTube Ghost Planet that's here. Which is fine. Right.
Sorry, next time I'll give you more of a heads up. We'll plan it out better. But let's see. We want episode 2, Robin of Sherwood, series 1, episode 2. Let me find it on YouTube, and then I will.
It should be right there. I mean,
where the heck is it?
If you find it, paste it.
Yeah, I'll do that if I can find it. Do they have part 2, or are they going to be
part
saying...
2 is there. It is there. I saw
I don't know. I'm going to click on the Shout Factory thing. Hold on. Give me a minute. Robin. Just put it on Blu-ray already, okay? Don't say you put it on Blu-ray like in a limited edition that you can only buy from the website back in when? 2008? I mean, re-release it already on Blu-ray. I have the DVDs, but I don't like them as much. It was a Super 16-shot show. Okay, well, I'll have to go to the Shout Factory TV site. So,
you can go to Bluetooth. Shout Factory.
No, it's not on YouTube. I don't know where it is. It's not there. Part 2's not on YouTube.
Hold on. That's part 1. Where's part 2? There's part 2.
I don't think there is a part 2 on YouTube. See, this is how they do. This is how they get you hooked. They say, "Come over to Shout Factory." Do you have it in the chat?
I'm getting it.
Paste it in the chat because I'll just get your link. I can't find it.
Copy the URL. Let me go. You may hear me.
Put this on Blu-ray already. Shout Factory. I want the whole thing on Blu-ray. You put Space 1999 on Blu-ray, and that was nice. Put this on Blu-ray as well. I got their Space 1999 release. I love Space 1999. Oh, okay.
There is the link.
Thank you. I'm just going to click on it. Is this an official Shout Factory one?
No, this is Guy with Beer or something like that. He the whole series. He's got the whole series on there.
What?
Yeah, if you
I'm not going to see a dancing garden gnome interspersed in the middle of the show, am I?
The link I don't know. But, I guess if you had the link the top, it's the same guy. It was just the next video.
All right. Well, I'm ready. I'm ready when you are. Okay, I was on the Shout Factory YouTube site. Okay.
Okay.
You ready? 3, whenever you're ready.
2, 1, go.
Does Guy with Beer also have the complete Mr. Belvedere on YouTube? Huh?
I don't know.
I'm joking. It's
Robin of Sherwood. No little first part.
You know what? I admit I did like it when it was just Robin Hood and you just sing along. There's your title, Robin Hood. Oh, Robin, the hooded man. Never mind.
The
It's not.
hooded
Well,
man.
whatever.
Starring Michael Praed as Robin. Anthony Valentine as Simon de Bellem.
All the villains on the show, they all French names. Have you noticed that? That's always a big thing. They all.
Well, that's the people in power were French. That's who they were.
Yeah.
They were actually Vikings of French origin.
Oh, I see.
The Sorcerer,
Okay.
Part 2, written by Richard Carpenter.
He's in. He's finding this funny.
He does. He finds the fact that Gisborne was made to look stupid funny.
For a while, he's not taking Robin too seriously until he starts taking the tax money, and that's when he starts getting going on a tear and decides, okay, I have to take this guy out. Because at first, it's just when he starts taking the tax money. Because if you don't rescue the tax money, then Prince John, it's going to be your head on a pike, right?
Yeah, Prince John liked his money. Well, originally they were supposedly collecting for
the wars in Normandy.
For that, but also then there was a ransom.
There was a ransom. Did somebody capture Richard?
Yeah, Richard got captured.
Oh my goodness. An English thing. He's like, he doesn't care. He's so disrespectful to like the locals. He's just. That's a cool silver arrow, huh? And this is actually from the lore too. It is put up as a thing to win, right?
Right.
In the arrow contest, which is probably one of my favorite parts of the old legend, the arrow contest, because they're setting up a trap for Robin of Locksley. You know.
Yep. Because they knew he wouldn't be able to resist it.
Did he say you don't look like a nun?
Well, she's pledged to it. Not quite a nun yet.
God, she's beautiful.
I love that medieval look on a woman.
Yes.
The veil, forget what they call it, the wimple.
Yes. Oh. Look at this. Kiss. Do it. Yes. Don't waste our time. Thank you. Well, you know what? This is a pure kiss. I mean, the wedding night will come soon enough. Anyway, no, I'm sorry that we're going to see that. I actually liked her when she was in the nice dresses more than the Sherwood outfit she's always in, right? I mean, that's fine. She has to be. It's fine. I kind of like her when she's
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
I know royal outfits though. Yeah, I do like the dresses.
I like a warrior woman, but I do like a fancy medieval woman as well.
Well, one of the things I like about her character in the show, they don't turn her into the standard, what do you call it?
Damsel in distress.
Not damsel in distress. The opposite we have now. The
Xena warrior princess type.
Well, I like Xena actually. So actually, I could buy. Actually, to be fair, I could buy Xena. I could buy Lucy Lawless as that character. She could have played Wonder Woman too. But no, I'm thinking of strong woman or strong. I don't know. Strong heroine. Like the whole. It's the one we kept seeing show up in movies. She's somewhere in the middle. She's not. Yeah. She's still a feminine woman, but she's
capable.
Yes, she's capable. Yes, that's what I would say. Yes.
She's not like overly. She's not. She couldn't take most guys, but she knows enough that she can take care of herself.
She can take care of herself. And to be fair, even the men on the show, let's face facts. Robin Hood, he's not like a Conan. He's good with the arrow, though. That's his big talent. You're
good with a bow and arrow. That's a big plus because a sword you got to be within 3 feet, basically.
Yeah. Well, he has to use a sword too, but yeah, he has the magic sword Albion, one of the 7 swords of Wayland.
Well, the archers always had a sword. In fact, there eventually became a term called the archer sword. For like longbowmen, they would carry what was basically, it wasn't a longbow. I mean, a long sword. It was a shortened, kind of like a mid size. Like a 6 inches shorter than a regular broadsword type of thing.
Right, right. I think I've seen those. They're quick to draw. I think, right? Yeah.
We got a little view of Nasir there for a second.
Yeah, yeah. You don't know what to make of him in this pilot episode because he's working for the Baron. He's working for the villain. He's clad all in black. He's one of the more mysterious characters on this show. We get to know him a little bit, but he's. I think what we needed later on the show was to have a Nazir-centered storyline, I think, because we sort of get him because assassins from the Middle East come after him in one episode. I remember that.
Yeah.
They because I guess he broke some oath or something. I don't know. He did something.
I always loved his swords though. Those two scimitars.
Scimitar is a great sword. I remember in that movie, The 13th Warrior, where Antonio Banderas has to make himself a scimitar because, of course, the Viking swords are these huge,
heavy slashers.
The Vikings were brilliant at making swords. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they had sword making technology. They didn't really. In fact, what I learned, they didn't fold the metal like you see in a lot of like I think the Japanese would fold the metal and stuff. No, they would. It was like they would twist it into like wires almost, and then like when it was molten, and then
they would have like the good steel. Well, especially for a Viking axe, you would have soft metal on the whole axe, except for a 1 inch running down the edge, and that's
interesting.
What you kept sharp. That was the hard part. Everything else could be untempered, but it's that one little piece at the edge, and they would basically forge weld it, and then they would do swords similarly. Like the inner part of the sword was a softer metal than the edges and the points.
Ah. I like this. The flambeau will be the archer to the king.
Yeah.
Ooh, that looks pretty good, huh?
Love a pig on a spit, man.
Oh. I'll say I pick on the food. That was probably pretty tasty. The pig on the spit.
Yeah, we did that once at we had a get together, just our group at a little local place, and someone got a little pig, and we roasted the pig all day to get.
Yeah, I imagine they have to cook for a while, right?
Had to cook, and quite frankly, to this day, I'm not quite sure it was all the way cooked.
Oh no, you got to be careful there.
Thankfully, I did not get sick. No, today though, I had the Maryland specialty. My cousin visited me this morning, brought me a bowl of crab meat.
Oh, that sounds delightful.
I put a little melted some butter and with some Old Bay in it, and went to town. Boy.
That sounds delicious, actually.
God, loved it. Put it on some crackers.
I just had some KFC earlier.
You had what?
I just had some KFC earlier.
Oh, hey, that's good too.
To think how backwards they were back then. They had chickens and didn't know you could fry them. I'm just saying.
Well, frying them would take a lot of oil. Probably oil.
That's being saved for the brigands trying to climb the wall. That's what the oil is being saved for. Got to dump it on the brigands. There's Will Scarlet. I don't know. See, I pick on the middle times, and like this seems like a good time going to one of these archery contests, right?
Yeah, well,
you're with the
they
crowd.
make it an event.
I
spectacle.
in fact, I will say this: in medieval times, they did have a lot more feast days, so it's like you got a lot more Christmas, like Christmas type holidays around the year.
Yeah,
So it's not all
because
bad. Yeah,
every saint, well, even
yeah,
I mean today, every saint has a day,
exactly.
and
But they would have feast days for them.
but
Yeah.
back then there weren't as many saints, and the ones that did have the feast days, they were pretty special. Just like in
Oh,
Shakespeare's Henry V, St. Crispin's Day.
remember when Cathfile was all about Saint Winifred?
Yeah.
They kept trying to get Saint Winifred, because she was buried somewhere. They
Her
kept trying to
bones.
get her bones, and like then the one monk has a vision, and it's like it becomes a big tussle because of course was that in Wales where Saint Winifred was, and it's here we go. We got the old man here, huh?
Yep.
Oh, just some old guy. You know what? I'm buying the disguise. I'm sorry. I know some people think it looks fake, but
It's actually, for this, very good.
it's not terrible. He called him an idiot. That's not very polite. Come on. It's That's pretty smart though. Show up in a disguise, right?
Yeah, well, that's part of the legend. They do keep a lot of the original legend in this show throughout. Just sprinkle it with a little fantasy dust.
Did they have the arrow contest in Prince of Thieves? Was that in there?
I don't think they did,
Yeah, see, that should be in every Robin Hood movie. That should be a thing.
because the Men in Tights they did.
Yeah, Robin Hood might be my favorite.
No, they
My
did the
favorite.
split. They did the split arrow in, like, when he was just in the woods. Remember they had the video. Remember they had the trailer for it. They showed the arrow flying to the target. It would split the arrow.
Yeah. What the heck's that? What's like the pig for? Is that what they had before the bikini clad woman with the sign? They would said in medieval times they'd have the pig come out before the before the contest, right? You have to imagine the guys doing this did some research too. Like what were they like back then? I think the only issue is I think they mentioned corn in an episode. It wasn't corn discovered in the Americas and North America.
Yeah, maize.
I
I
don't.
think.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking okay because
Yeah, I think like tomatoes and potatoes weren't there either.
yeah,
Or
no, they
potatoes.
weren't. No, they weren't.
Ooh, close.
Now, to be fair, the King's Archer is probably a perfectly nice guy. I don't think he's nasty or anything. He's just,
Yeah, he's just
he's
there
just
to do his
really good.
job,
Yeah,
just to win. Who wants to
he's
win?
good too. He's good. The sheriff's eyes, they just look sinister. He's just,
I know. He does look evil. And he's probably the nicest guy.
Well, no, I like in one episode when he mentions his brother. My brother, he was trustworthy, honest, generous. So naturally, I despised him. Because I guess he had a younger brother at one point, and he was like the opposite of him. It's like, there's Little John, huh? You like this theme music, the festival music?
Oh, I love it. Da, 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 da.
Remember
I
the
like the
Doctor
fact
Who?
that
Huh?
the helmets that they use too are maybe a little stylized, but basically very authentic looking. William the Smith. Know what he does. See, I think bringing attention to himself like that's, I don't know about that.
I could see I could see
like
someone
plain sight kind of thing.
If I were one of Robin Hood's men, I'd be spreading a rumor around how, hey, I've seen the King's Archer. He doesn't look like that. I think I think it's Robin of Locksley in disguise, and I would spread that around, and they all attack the King's Archer. It's like. Well, you tried, buddy. Okay. Yeah. Stick to darts, maybe. I'm sorry.
I do like those smaller bows. But the longbow is the big war bow. Those are evil.
Oh, it's my turn. Sorry. Here you go. That's a bad old man voice. That's a fine shot. I'll say this: he gave him a compliment.
Yeah, it was a fine shot.
Yeah. Castle Double M.
Like Simon, the Blim just looks evil sitting there.
Yeah.
Doesn't say a word.
He just does a nod. He doesn't talk much on the show. Have you noticed that?
Not a lot.
I remember him and Little John were arguing over the pronunciation of some word. And in what episode that was? Look at that. You want to bring them back a little bit?
Bring it back and shoot on the same target.
Okay. Ooh.
In the black. Like his the symbol he's got there. Like I don't know if it's snakes or
it's bad. It's evil is what it is.
Yeah. Well, he's working for the Baron.
Yeah. In the black.
Ooh. In the black, and it was in the center.
I would imagine if you're in the black, it counts. Doesn't matter if it's more toward the center. Oh, I see. I guess he was admitting he beat us both because it went to the center. Okay.
Yeah, he got close. When they go to same target, close.
Okay, close to the center. Okay, fair enough.
And he's in the center, but there's only one way to win if a guy's in the center, which is dramatic pause. Split the arrow. Which is almost impossible to do. Especially if you ever seen the Mythbusters episode that does it?
No, were they able to do it?
They were not able to. Most of the time when they did it in Hollywood, it really depends on the grain of the arrow. And when in Hollywood did it, they usually used bamboo. Like a really thin bamboo, and because it'll go down the center. In fact, if you look at a lot of the old ones that show it happening, you can see the little bumps in the bamboo.
Mm-hmm. Sheriff's figured it out.
Yep. He does have those bulgy eyes. I like. A little too slow there, Gisborne.
What's Much doing? I like how in the prior episode, how why doesn't he talk? Is he simple? You know, and Gisbert always refers to him as like the simpleton or the half wit.
He sort of is a little bit.
Not really. He's a kid. I see him as a kid. He's younger.
Exactly.
He's like 15 or something. He's not experienced. That doesn't make him dumb. All right. And
yeah, he's not as worldly.
No, I mean, give him time and experience, he'll get smarter. I mean,
he's just a miller's son. He's a kid who basically just knows
how to run a mill. How to run a mill. What does a mill do? Does it does stuff with grain? I guess
it grinds grain to flour.
For you can make flour out of it, make yourself a nice loaf of bread.
Exactly.
Loaf of bread was important back then. You need them calories, right? Because there ain't no food.
That is true.
Could you fish? Do the fish belong to the king?
In medieval times? Sure about fishing. I think fishing is. I've always seen it.
If it's a river, can I fish?
I've never seen anybody get harassed for fishing in medieval movies. I'll say that.
Here's what I'll say. At least back then, you don't have to worry about the mercury.
That is true. Yes, it is.
I love the sets. Of course, I say I love the sets when I think this is an actual castle. If it's not an actual castle, it's a fantastic set. But I think they did film on locations.
Yeah, they were filmed
in castles.
Yeah,
structures are remarkable. I'm sorry, let's face it, I think every boy wants his own castle, right? How cool would it be to have your own castle? The closest I got were those Lego castle sets. I used to build those. Yeah. I love those.
In my medieval group, we built. Well, I didn't build it, but someone up in northern Maryland built the front face of a castle out of plywood.
Oh, neat!
And we would do our fighting like in front and behind. Like you would have to siege the castle. You couldn't go around. We had rules.
Interesting.
And it was you would have to. Like someone would have to help you get up on top of it, and it did have a walkway. It was really fun.
Cool.
I'll have to find a picture of it one day.
Wooden Castle's neat. I remember this old game for the Sega Genesis called Shining Force 2. When the king and everybody flees their kingdom from being destroyed and they flee on a ship, they have to relocate to another country, and then they rebuild the castle, but they built it out of the wood from the ship, so it's a wooden castle. And I thought that was interesting.
Well, back then, most castles were wooden.
Oh, okay.
It was only the highest muckety mucks that had stone.
I imagine the wooden ones didn't survive. Okay.
No, yeah, they were more like hill forts.
Okay,
is what they were, and many stone castles were built where wooden forts once were. Well, do you remember Braveheart? And they had that one fortress that was it was all wood. It's very much like that.
Oh, okay.
More, especially earlier on. Feast of Beltane, I would call it.
Sounds like satanic.
Yeah, well, Celtic. One of the Wiccan thing.
Oh, his brother Hugo, if I get to keep the land.
Yeah. He gets the woman. He gets the land.
Dude, you're an abbot. This is,
He wants the land.
I know he wants the land, but there's a vocation, isn't there? It's like this is.
Yes, but he's not in it. He's not into vocation because
yes,
he had
but I'm sorry, you're a member of the church. This woman's pledged herself, at least to his knowledge up to now, pledged herself to be to a holy order. You're not going to give her over to. I don't care how corrupt you are. Well, I guess he is bad, but
he's a bad guy.
Yes,
there were a lot back then. The church was more political.
That's true. That's true.
And if you were a second son, like here, the sheriff is probably the oldest son.
There is
in order to have some kind of say, to be important, you might go into the clergy, and that would give you status.
Well, the interesting thing was on I remember on Cat File how there was they ended up getting a new head priest for the monastery, but he was not the guy they got was not a nice guy, and he was on King Stephen's side instead of Empress Maud's, and it's like the church is really supposed to be staying neutral during this conflict,
Yeah.
And and then like he's really nasty to the he sees like, oh, you filthy Saxons, like he's yelling at the filthy Saxons, like I think the prior guy that owned the church lands, he was basically like the prior head of the monastery, or whatever. He would let the peasants farm the land and take the food, even though it was church land. When he showed up, no, you're not doing that. These are my lands, and it's like, we'll starve, and it's like, it's
the other one got too old, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened. Yeah, he got too old, and so they got this new guy, and then he ends up getting murdered. That's what the murder case is, because he basically he's like a pregnant woman goes to receive absolution because she's not married, and then he says, "Get out of my sight," and he's like, "You'll burn it," and he's like, and it's this whole thing where it's just you're wondering who the suspect is because he's pissed off so many people in the town, and suddenly ends up dead. And Catfall has to solve it. Prior talk. I like prior talk.
I like it. Just headbutt. Poof. To Sancti.
What? He's not killing them, though. Make a point about that.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he did kill one of them in one episode. I don't think he liked doing that, actually, but yeah,
Yeah, did you ever play D&D?
Long time ago.
Remember how clerics couldn't use an edged weapon?
Yeah.
A mace or a cudgel or something like that.
I'm trying to think if I was ever a cleric. I might have been.
I don't think I never played a cleric.
I was a monk once. I was a
a dwarf. I was a fighter, a dwarf fighter. I was a paladin. No, I was a cavalier. He might as well have been a paladin the way I played him, but he was a cavalier because he was a horseman.
Oh.
I play a magic user for a short period. Not much though. But those are my main characters: the fighter and the cavalier.
Yeah, I was a monk once. I guess they based them more on like the Shaolin monks, right? In D&D, and
warrior monks. Yeah,
I got squashed by a giant.
Yeah, but when
that happened in one campaign, that's how my character died. I think he got flattened by a giant.
I died. One of my characters died fighting a Balrog. I had I had like one hit point left, and I had taken it down, and my final swipe killed it, and I failed the dex roll to get out of the way.
Oh no!
And that is how my character died.
That's D&D for you.
like how he cleans the sword off, because I have done that. My sleeve was always dirty like that because I used to do that all the time. Wipe my blade off if I'd stuck it in the ground. Because you do that, it'll rust your sword.
Good point.
Yeah, what a girl though, man. Come on. You can see why John's a little hesitant though, because
Yeah,
he's already been in that dark area.
yeah. Is this where he makes a point? Is it this episode when he says, "What if you die, then Hearn will choose another"? Is that here or is that in a later episode? Because I know that's a foreshadowing.
Okay.
Wait, so there's. See, if I should fail, one of you will take my place. Yes.
And
Hearn will choose him. Yes. And this comes into play later on.
I had forgotten that. Good memory.
Yeah.
There. I hadn't watched this in a long time, so I don't remember.
Like I said, I did buy the DVD re-release when it came out, and I watched them all again. Like I said, I do wish I had this on Blu-ray, but I figure it should get a re-release at some point. But
yeah, because the one thing I do remember is when Tuck holds the sword up and he goes, "In nomine Patri et Spiritus," and he hits the guy.
Yeah, that's funny. It's funny. I'm sorry. That's a creepy castle.
Because the guy bends his head to take the blessing.
That's a creepy castle.
That is. They always had some great the vision, the imagery they would use in these shows, the cinematography. It was dark and gritty when it needed to be, and it was just great.
Now this was shot on Super 16, which is not 35 millimeter. It's a lower grade film camera. Good for television, better than video, obviously, especially back then. It
works. The visual of it works, though. It doesn't have to be crisp and clear.
Well, they say it looks better on Blu-ray. That's what I heard when it came out, and like I said,
I wonder if
they can make it look better. Super 16 can be cleaned up a little bit for Blu-ray. It's not going to look as good as a 35 millimeter film or 70, you go 7 or HD, but they can clean up movies for Super 16 and make them look better. I'm almost thinking like Brides of Dracula here.
I was thinking the same thing, man. I was going to say it. You said it first.
And we might be seeing them again someday.
It does have that Dracula feel.
It's creepy. I'm sorry. I don't want to be here.
So the Shrek films have Robin Hood, a burger place named after Friar Tuck.
Oh, that's funny. It should have been like a fry fish place instead, though, right? That would have made more sense.
Like fish and chips.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. See, that's always bad when you have like skeletons of people you like left out to die in front of your property, and it's like that's what they had instead of the beware of dogs sign. You just hang a few trespassers on your property, and there's your warning.
Nothing says demon sexy like being tied to a pentagram. Great. This is like incidental music that's not on the album, but I like it.
Yeah, I wish they had included this. This is a good little creepy,
Yeah, I had invited Daniel to watch, but he wasn't sure if he would.
Well, yeah,
he's out there.
Yeah, maybe another time. Yeah, he said
that he couldn't guarantee he'd be back by 8 o'clock his time.
I got you.
Or is it 6 o'clock his time? Yeah, he said 8 o'clock his time is when he would get home, which would be 9 o'clock our time. It almost has a Hammer House of Horror feel.
Well, it is English, and I'm sure the people who made the show watch those movies. I mean, Hammer by this point.
But even like I said, the film, the cinematography, the setting, it just screams that type of a film.
We did get a Hammer Robin Hood movie. Did you know that?
We did?
Yes. I think it had the actor who played him on that one British television series as Robin Hood, and Peter Cushing as the sheriff. I've yet to watch it. I have it on DVD, but Hammer did make a Robin Hood movie, yes.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
I got a little wolf howl that they give.
Oh, yeah. It's a bad place.
Yeah.
I remember reading reviews of this online. It said, more than one D&D campaign with my buddies is based on this show, you know, like they were.
Oh, definitely. Be great. Some great setup, especially like Hound's Lucifer.
Oh yeah, I'd love for them to redo this show, but I'd be worried what they would do. So maybe leave it alone. I don't know. It'd be interesting if it was like a Succession show, like Robin Hood and Marion's son takes up the calling or something, right? I mean, I know the way they left. Oh, look at that! His arrow just burned up.
There had been talk about a sequel,
to
the series that, and Michael Praed was in discussion to play a Robin Hood who was actually still alive.
Interesting,
guys. Sorry, but yeah, I mean the series was from '84. There's a lot to not know about. That's out there.
This is pretty nasty. He's using this reminds me of in Red Sonja, the guy that was doing the cuts, the wizard, and Sonja gets cut. Yeah,
you're right. I forgot about that. But this does it better.
I love the way the sheriff's men look, the king's men. They with the blue.
Yeah, the blue with the chevron.
See, because you don't think blue necessarily evil. Like on the BBC Robin Hood series, all the knights wore black, because black knights, they're all bad guys. But on this now they're wearing blue.
Well, blue is or as they say in heraldry, azure. Azure. Vert for green and what's red? I can't think of why can't I think of red? It's actually my own
magenta. Color. Magenta?
No, it's
crimson.
Dang it!
All right,
I know it. My brain is just
it happens to me all the time. You young folks listening, it's going to happen to you too one day. I think the problem is you end up storing too much information over your life, and then it gets harder and harder to access certain things.
Gules. Gules. Gules.
Oh, okay.
Black is sable. Purple is purpur.
This is messed up. He's using Robin Hood. He's possessing Robin Hood to kill Maid Marian with Hearn's arrow. Mm-hmm. Boom! Fooled you.
Don't mess with Hearn's son.
That'll
Even
do
more
it.
Dracula vibes. Reunited and it feels so good.
Take the arrow. Might have left the arrow in.
Well, no, he has to have it because Hearn wants the arrow.
I know Hearn wants it, but maybe it's like Dracula. You remove the stake.
Yeah,
kind of. It's just like, Nazir, look at this. I'm sorry, he's cool.
Yes.
He's got the black armor. I'm thinking Robin's in trouble. Those
black
scimitars. Look at that.
The double scimitars.
Look at that.
Mark Ryan just looks badass. He always has. He was in a rock video, Over the Hills and Far Away.
Oh, really?
I forget the singer, but that was the song. It was, and he was kind of like the actor in it. It is not easy fighting two swords. I knew this for a fact. I've tried it. It's not easy to fight with two swords either, which I also know is a fact. Because you gets in each other's way. Oy. Chic. I like that little smile. He lets him go. I like that, you ungrateful bastard. Not over yet, though.
Gisborne.
He does look impressive, though. I will say, Gisborne looks like he could definitely give you trouble in a fight.
Oh, sure. No, he's good at fighting hand to hand. No,
he's a competent fighter.
He don't have the social skills.
No, when I thought earlier in the broadcast that he is Dwight, the more I think about it, the more I am positive that is exactly how his character is.
Yeah.
Kind of comes off a little bit.
It'd be funny if we do The Office with Gisborne as like a Dwight character and the sheriff is the guy manager.
Yeah. Sadly, Robert Addy is no longer with us.
Too bad. The sheriff's no longer with us?
No, the sheriff is. Gisborne is not.
Oh, Gisborne is. Oh, too bad.
Yeah, he I believe it was cancer.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I like those shields.
Yeah, they're kind of a...
If Gisborne excommunicated, I'll have him hanged. I like those shields.
What, the shape or
just the colors and the shape? They're impressive.
Yeah. Well, the shape, it's kind of like a modified Norman kite shield.
Yeah.
The device, I guess you could probably figure it out. It's azure with a white chevron, but the chevron has got a border on it.
It's interesting. Would a modern audience watch this show? Like, would they think the pacing was too slow? What do you think?
I think some would. Not fun.
I like it because when I grew up with this was excitement. Too. This was excitement. This was like, whoa, it's medieval England. There's sorcery. There's swords. It's like, whoa.
It's everything I love. You're right. Like you said, I like the little turn there. It's swords. It's sorcery.
There's no internet. There was no internet back then. There were no
beautiful woman. There's battles. There's mysticism. Great music. I like the cinematography of it.
Think back to television back then. You didn't have a lot of shows like this on TV. Fantasy? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, not at all.
You're not going to see a fantasy show.
There were a few great ones if you could find them. Did you ever watch one called Crossbow?
No.
With William Tell?
No, that sounds interesting.
I swear to God, you cannot find it. It used to be on, what was it, the Christian, remember when it was the Christian network, but it's now Freeform. It's gone through several variations, but it was on there.
Okay.
and of course there was Wizards and Warriors, which was on for like 13 episodes. Covington Cross was one that was really good. Well, it was on for a very short period of time, sadly.
Really? Covington Cross.
Covington Cross actually starred King Arthur and Guinevere, the actors who played them from Excalibur.
Oh, interesting. But it wasn't about them.
No, he was the primary character. He was like the father. It was kind of like a family drama.
Interesting.
He was the father. I think she was the mother, and like one of the sons was actually played by. He's the guy who died. He's the guy Glenn Quinn, who died. He used to be an angel in Roseanne.
Oh, okay.
Played Mark, the boyfriend of the oldest girl on
Roseanne.
Right. Nothing is ever forgotten.
Yeah, they lost a lot of their comrades there on the battlefield.
Well, they lost Tom the Fletcher and Dickon, I think was his name. But they got her back. And they're gaining probably someone who's worth the two of the other ones they just lost. But I like the fact it does deal with loss. I mean, it's a dangerous business they're in. And they've gained Tuck, they've gained Marion, they've lost the other two.
Can you imagine if they did a revival series, but they'd cast new actors? Maybe you cast Ray Winstone as the sheriff. What do you think, huh?
Oh, he'd be a great sheriff.
yeah, and have him be.
He could be. Did you ever
just pick up where the whole show left off?
Did you ever see him play Henry VIII?
No.
Oh, so good. He was a right old bastard. Sometimes wonder if I were like 20-year-old Al, just suddenly plunked down the middle of a forest with a few survival ideas and a bow.
There you go.
A bow, some arrows, a sword.
They're here with us in Sherwood. I like that.
Yeah. They always will be. They're free.
They're free. They'll never be shackled. They'll never be, because they stood up.
They died free men, fighting for what they believed in. I want this done when I die. All my friends shooting flaming arrows into the lake, creek, river, whatever body of water. And I want this song playing in the background.
Okay.
And if it doesn't happen, I'll rise from the grave
and find us. And we get another flaming arrow. And who does it belong to? He's decided to join his side. He's probably thinking, well, where else am I going to go? You killed my lord.
He's a mercenary. I mean,
I don't know, though. I guess he likes this group. I always found him interesting because is he a villain? Probably not. What was his whole thing? It's just
he's not. Well, like I said, they never delved too deeply into his backstory, which I think
they're married.
I love that look.
They're going to get married.
I love a woman when she looks like that. Flowers in her hair and a shift, kind of a dress. A hooded man. No. Yeah, you're right. We've got to watch this entire series now. I have opened up the torrent has been opened, and I must now watch it all again.
Do 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 do. There's some really cool episodes coming up. The episode of the Templars, remember that?
Templars, yep. There's an episode with Matt Fuhrer, who plays the bad guy.
Yeah, there's
some cool guest stars in this show. John Rhys Davies shows up.
Yeah. I was pointing out all the villains on the show, and it was like, here's the Sheriff of Nottingham, and here's the Templar Knights, and Hounds of Lucifer, Prince John, King Richard. What? Yes, I said King Richard. Yep. It's like he's not a good guy on the show either. No,
he's probably, but looking back, he's probably the closest to the real Richard that they may have had. Richard was not known for being a stay-at-home dad kind of a guy.
Well, he was wanting Robin Hood to join him on the battlefield in Normandy. I know that was one of the things. But the episode was called "The King's Fool." I remember that.
Yeah.
Because
Robin Hood is basically just bought into.
Well, because he was going to pardon Robin Hood. He says they joined me on the battlefield in Normandy. He was going to pardon Robin Hood. But I don't know. King Richard had something up his sleeve, though. I think, but it was.
Yeah, it was his way of basically, getting the lapdog to.
Yeah.
To follow.
You forgetting your purpose, Robin Hood, and wanting to, because you. But that's because he was fooled by the king. But yeah.
Yeah. This is 83 because I think it was.
Yeah.
It was 84 when the U.S. got it, so I'm sure that's when it probably got filmed. Was 83? I don't know, but it is just a lot of fun. You don't find a lot of people who have even heard of the series, nonetheless have watched it, bought all of it because they loved it and want to watch it all again, which is kind of you inspired this whole thing to watch it again. I've been wanting to watch it. And
I've been talking about this for a while. Yeah,
you've talked about it for a while. That got my gears turning. I was like, oh yeah, I could get Boomer. We got to watch Robin or Sherwood again.
See, we got the Tax Collector and Marion's Appeal, and then we could probably do two at a time if you want to keep doing this. And like I said, you could always do. On nights I can't make it, you could do a different fantasy movie with somebody else, like a Birdman or somebody else wants to show up or something.
Yeah, how many are there?
Faced with the Service, Miriam Snettle, Gisborne Captured. I like the name of the episode. Extracting the Pardon. How many episodes are there of this show?
There's 13 in season 3, and there's 26 total. There's only 26 of them.
Okay, so that should give us a nice, neat order to do.
Yeah. Because the first season was 6 episodes and 7 in the second. And then we got our full run of 13. Crom Cruac. That was another weird one.
Oh, Crom Cruac. I love that episode because they show up at that mysterious village and and Friar Tuck's like, I can't stay here. I have to leave. Because I guess because he was a priest, he knew something was wrong with the town, right?
Yeah.
And it turns out that the town made a deal with the devil, basically, to a devil called Crom Cruac to stay immortal or something, like sacrificing their children, or they did something. It was this weird thing. Yeah, it was like, and it was this
Rudderkin, the one about the pig, the little pig that was the familiar to that one woman.
Well, that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I think your episode titles are differing from mine.
I have the British release here. I have the Acorn DVD release.
Yeah, this one. Here are my titles.
The Tax Collector is next, and Marion's Appeal is next. Well, it's possible you have it in the American order, and I have it in the proper order.
That could be it. Mine. The next one on mine is The Witch of Elston, and 7 Poor Nights from Acre.
Hold on.
And then Alan a Dale, and then The King's Fool.
Oh, wait a minute. My mistake. I'm on the scene selection. Let me go back to the main menu.
I was going to say, I was like, I don't remember any of these.
Darn it. Episode selection. Herp derp. Okay. Oh look, when you hit on the DVD, arrows fly out and hit the screen. Yeah, Witch of Elston and Seven Poor Nights from
4 Nights
Acre.
of Acre.
Those are some good ones. And you know
Yeah,
what I like about this show?
they're all good,
It's
man.
not
Good and
always a
strange.
paranormal villain they're going up against. I mean, I think in
No,
Witch of Elston
yeah,
and Seven Poor Nights of Acre, they're going up against mortal enemies,
yeah.
but they're still formidable. Yeah, so
The
that's the
great,
next two on the
well,
disc. Yeah,
because like the Swords of Wayland are second season 5 and 6, and that's followed by
yeah.
the Greatest Enemy, which to me is very major
Oh,
episode. That's a rough episode.
that
Uh,
is the
yeah, it's that
the
episode.
greatest enemy. I'm trying to think. I need to look up this episode list now. Hold on. Humor me for half a second while we wrap things up.
Sure,
Let me look up
I'm
Robert
on
Sherwood because I want to
Wikipedia.
know.
I've got them
It would be
upstairs.
great if we could do greatest enemy, and that no, it won't work. Is that's okay? I got to figure this out if we are going to be doing this.
You want to do Greatest Enemy and then Her and Son Part 1 and
I
2.
can't do Turn Some Part 1 and 2. We have to. If I want, let's see if we can try. Can we do this two at a time? Let's see. King's Fool, Prophecy, Children, Enchantment, Swords of Wayland,
Swords of Wayland's got to
Greatest
be done
Enemy,
one night. Greatest
and
Enemy.
then for the love of Mike.
Yeah, it's funny. I
Give
mean,
me a
they're
second
even
here. Give me
numbered,
a
but
sec while I figure this out. Hold on.
it's 13 and
We'd have to
13.
do Her and Son Part 1, and we'll have to wait on Part 2. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll
We'll
figure it out,
we'll figure it out.
or we'll like I'll have maybe I'll check
No,
some of the episode lengths.
no, no. You gotta do it in order. I understand what
Yeah,
you're
it's got to be
saying.
in order. No, I understand.
Unless
I'm
you just
just
want to do
saying,
Greatest Enemy by itself and then do. I don't
which
know.
is I think, man, I wish we could do that. That would solve a lot. Well, then it would like uneven it because then we would have to do either a one or
I
another
don't know
trio.
what to tell you.
I'll look into it. We'll figure it out because we're not doing it anytime soon. Maybe in a few more
Actually,
weeks.
what
Few
we
more
know we
weeks.
could do. No, that won't work either. Okay, we'll worry about it later. We're a ways off from having to worry about this.
Yeah,
All
because
right.
we got
Because I
vets.
figure you want to do this again next month. Do another Robin to Sherwood night, maybe next
Sure,
month.
we
All
could
right.
yeah do 2 a month. That'll be 13 viewings, and that will be done in a year.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know if I can do 2 a month, but we'll see. Maybe I'll be.
Yeah, well, like I said, as it comes, we'll
Oh,
see.
two episodes a month. That's what you mean. Okay. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, double,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
two
2 episodes a
episodes,
month. Okay.
2 episodes once a month.
Oh,
Or do you want to,
I hate doing. I
or do
hate
you want to
doing.
do 2 episodes, or 2 episodes
No,
twice a month? So
no.
4 episodes a month.
Two episodes a month. 2 episodes a month.
Okay, so that
We'll
leaves
do
like
that.
one night.
I'll give you one of my
night.
Fridays. If you could
Yeah,
always do something else on a different Friday or something.
yeah.
Let's
Like I said,
not use up all of Robin of Sherwood soon, right? I mean,
yeah,
come on.
I want you for Robert or Sherwood. So only you.
Definitely.
I
Okay,
mean,
I
yeah, we can
understand.
always invite somebody
Not
else
that
to
I
watch.
can't pop on if you do something else, but
I
yeah,
can't.
I
I
think
can't.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure if all of them are on YouTube, but I'm sure a lot of them are.
We'll figure it out.
Well, we'll find it. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Elena
Yeah.
Dale,
Well,
episode 5. That actor is not good.
no.
Peter
That's
Hutchinson.
probably of all of them. That's the one episode that I could.
He has no Wikipedia entry. Okay, but we'll get to that later
Yeah.
on. All right.
Yeah. Well, it happened. Alan Dale happened.
Well, it's a great episode because you get to hear
But
about the sheriff has to get married, and he's not happy.
yeah. No,
He's not
yeah,
happy.
it's good. I mean, all of this is I love it. The series, top to bottom, every episode as a whole. But yeah, you're right. It's like if the Swords of Wayland was only after unless we do the enchantment after Swords of Wayland.
Won't work. I know what you're thinking, but you're still uneven even with the greatest enemy. We could always just do part 1. Maybe that's what we gotta do. But let's do Her and Son part 1. Anyway, all right.
No,
it's fine.
Weird.
Well, no,
we've got a long time to worry.
We got time to figure it out. I know what you're saying. All right, Al.
But I am so thankful that you got on here and watch this with me. I'm just glad that you're a fan of the show like I am. And
I'm a big fan of the series.
Definitely looking forward to watching it all again with you as the year progresses, and that'll be a lot of fun.
It's someone out there put this on Blu-ray already. I have it on DVD.
It
She's
may
happy
be
enough with the DVD, but
it
I'm
may
not. I
be
want the
on
Blu-ray.
it may be on Blu-ray.
It was on Blu-ray ages ago, and then it disappeared. Put it back on Blu-ray, you sons of you know what, and do it now.
Well, I do. Well, like I said, it's on Prime, but it's not available right now. Robin of Sherwood, the complete collection, which is just,
and it looks like it's the foreign edition anyway. The
DVD,
the English release, because we got a different American. I'm gonna bite my tongue.
Here is a Blu-ray.
No, they released it weird.
Multi-format.
Forget that. I'm waiting. I'll wait for a re-release announcement. I don't think it's been in print for ages. Okay,
that's the British. Yeah, that's the British version.
Put it out. Get on it. Get on it. Get on it. Right stuff.
There's Robin Hood.
Sorry,
and then there's the Adventures of Robin Hood. Oh, the Richard Green one. The old.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah, lots of different. Yeah, I love the Legend of Robin Hood. But like I said, thank you for joining me. We'll get off here so you can have some time to get ready for Troy's last
Friday.
Call.
Yeah, yes,
Friday's last call.
Yes, we're having a special guest, a young lady named Noob Reviews. That's her channel. She reviews. She's reading all the comics for the first time, like all the great comics. She gives her reviews on them. So it'll be nice to see.
Of course, join me tomorrow night on my channel at 10 p.m. We're going to be watching Porky's. And join Boomer 9 o'clock on Sunday for Geeky Geezers. And that will be a lot of fun. And for all of you,
there will be much ranting, I'm sure.
Or the one of you who joined us tonight, or however many may listen later, thank you so much for watching along. Great series, going to be a continuing thing. Every now and then.
Exactly.
Take care, and nothing's forgotten.
Nothing's forgotten. Yes, exactly. Good night, y'all.
Goodbye, everybody.